Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Friday, March 29th. I will be doing my April astrology Kabbalah report. It's actually right behind me. But before I get to that, I thought what I'd like to do is take a look at Robert Mueller. Now, he is pretty much done with his work. He worked diligently for 22 months, gathering information and sort of handing off other cases to other jurisdictions that, as he found them. And so they were very busy with that. And the report was handed over to the AG on the 22nd, although there is, I believe, they knew what was coming. They had a sort of a preview of that, but the official turnover was the 22nd. And it was the same day that Chiron and the Sun made a conjunction in Aries, illuminating the wounded masculine, the wounded warrior, as it were. And we also had Neptune backing into, Mercury backing into Neptune to be exactly conjunct on the 23rd. And then on the 24th, Barr put out his book report. And at that point, Mercury was actually moving, it was moving backwards away from its conjunction to Neptune, but that will come back around. And actually, with that stuff coming out at that time, of course, we did not see everything we needed to see. There's a lot of confusion and obfuscation, very much Neptune, Pisces, retrograde, Mercury kind of stuff. However, eventually, I'm not sure it will all come out in the wash, but I think enough of it will come out in the wash for us to get a good idea. It's just not going to necessarily be on the time frame that we would like, I think. So, as we stand, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just take a look at Mueller because, I think that he probably did his best. We have to remember that he was a soldier and to a certain extent a public servant. And, the question is, when does the soldier question authority, if they do. So there's always that, but I think that he probably has enough faith in the law as it's written for the truth to eventually come out. However, I guess we'll all be tested. We'll be tested, and he'll be tested into how true that is. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do the cards, and you'll see them because I have it set up that way today. So for those of you who like to see the cards, you'll be happy. I'm using the. Can you see? I can't see what you see. All right, I think that's good. So I'll be using the Illuminati Tarot. So this is the immediate environment. Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords. I'm going to just continue to pull, and then I'll read it. The crossing card is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, that's interesting. At the root, we have the Four of Swords. Interesting. In the past, we have the Nine of Pentacles. In the sky, or what's above us, the Two of Swords. Okay, a lot of swords here. And let's see, and the Six of Swords. Okay. All right. I'll continue to do this, but I want to look at these first. So here we have somebody who feels that they have had their hands tied behind their back. And so how is Robert Mueller feeling about this whole thing? I think that this is his present situation. He feels like he has his hands tied behind his back, and that he was either unaware of something. He wasn't unaware of anything within the report itself, but perhaps how those that he trusted to do what was right, he was a little blinded to that. So he feels like he's stuck. You would think that after all that work, he would feel free, sort of, to move on. But that's not really the case here. There is this sense of being tied up in knots here. And what's interesting is the crossing card is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is often a sense of fateful change, right? Something happens to change things. And as the challenge card, it's possible that he's hoping that and this is not really something I would imagine somebody who was into the law or somebody who was a public servant the way he would be praying that, like, something came down from the heavens to change everything. But that's kind of what this looks like. Certainly, or the challenge is, how do you bring those who are empowered down, and how do you bring those who are disempowered up? That's kind of what the Wheel of Fortune symbolizes anyway. So what we have at the root here is the Four of Swords. So right now he is resting. He feels, I get the feeling that he didn't get to do exactly what he wanted to do or finish in the way that he wanted to finish, and proceed in the way he wanted to proceed. And yet this woman can find her way out of this mess if she follows her intuition. So there's a need to sort of trust that process of intuition. But right now he is resting. He's probably somewhat exhausted. So he is doing that. In the past, we have the Nine of Pentacles. And I often see this card as the moneyed elite. Okay? This woman has walked from her palace up on the hill, down the pentacle path. So every step this woman takes is money. So having it be in the past, I would say he was following the path of the money. Path of the money. Above him, we have a sense of stalemate. And so, and yet this card is a sense of stalemate, but the moon up here is actually in its waning aspect. This is a moon that's moving towards dark of the moon, and then the new moon. So I feel as though there's a stalemate. There's a no action is going to be taken at this time, but there will come a time when things are going to end and a new cycle begins. So it's not all bad news there. And then we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Swords. So there's a lot of swords in this deck. So there's a lot of mental energy. But all of the swords here, it's interesting because the swords are generally cards that there's certain action, there's a certain and only almost like a deadliness to the swords, but none of these particular swords are particularly deadly. They're not being wielded. They're either being in this case the sword is being hung up. In this case the swords are stuck in the sand. In this case the swords are balanced across her chest, and in this case the swords are in the boat as we move from tumultuous water to calmer waters. So there's this sense of, at least initially, moving to calmer waters about this, trying to find refuge here. Okay, so I don't think he's very happy right now. Let's put it that way. Let's see what else comes up. How it's seen from the outside. We have the Princess of Wands. I feel as though he is still seen as the arbiter of truth here. This is a card of messages, and so I think people are listening intently for the messages. Let's see his domestic situation. We have the King of Wands. this is somebody who is in charge of their life. But we can see that this particular king, he's sort of sitting there and he's thinking about his next step. He's thinking about the next thing that he has to do. This could possibly be him talking to the House if they subpoena him, and maybe deciding what he's going to say. So he's not completely out of this. Mentally, he's kind of exhausted and wants to take a break. But the fire in his belly is still pretty hot and heavy here. Okay, and here we have the hopes and fears. The hopes and fears that, and we have the Princess of Pentacles. I think it's the hopes and fears that the seeds he planted when it comes to following the money will be nurtured further, and sort of moved on with. Okay, let's see the outcome. All right, we have the anxiety card. So he is really struggling right now. I don't think he's very happy about what Barr has done. Of course, I can ask that question. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. We have the Six of Wands, so that's victory at what cost? We have the Queen of Swords. Well, that's a little, that's we like to see the Queen of Swords because she is somebody who will wield the sword of justice very fairly. And we have the Four of Pentacles, which is really the whole, like, Republican hanging on to the money, the large donors. We see that there. Okay. So so this, in a way, is hope for victory around those people who, you know, the moneyed few. Let's see if we can get something underneath here. And we have Trump in his little smug, his little Lord Fauntleroy persona. Look at my beautiful cups, and you can't have them. Look at my beautiful gold curtains. Look at how beautiful and grand I am. Look at my chapeau. Makes you want to smack them, doesn't it? Okay, so let's see. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I have to get a glass of. A little cup of coffee here. I'm going to bring you up again so you can see me. Oops, sorry. Oh, my great camera work. Let's see. I'm doing this without making you nauseous. Okay, so he is in a lot of mental stress, quite frankly, from these cards. And yet he does, through all that anxiety, these last three cards, although we didn't get a major arcana, really do indicate this sense of victory over the situation, especially the money stuff. And this could be this could be the New York. Is it district attorney? Not the district attorney. The attorney general. She's a woman now. There was a woman there before, the woman who took over, and then questioned about the Trump charity, and now there's a new woman there, in New York. So tough state to break the laws, really. But so we will see if his hope, or maybe this is just our hope, is satisfied with that. Okay, let me see. And I'm going to use a different deck. I'm going to see what Mueller feels, or how he feels, or what he thinks about Barr and what Barr is doing. I'm just curious. Okay. Well, you know, when you think about it, had he been found guilty, that would have been a huge disruption to the country. And so there is this sense of, well, at least things didn't blow apart. But, of course, we want to get to the truth. And, of course, I do believe that the truth will come out. I hope so. All right. All right. This is how he feels about what Barr is doing at the moment, anyway. We have the Ace of Pentacles. That's the, oh, I'll put this down. Okay. Whoops. Did I make you nauseous when I did that? The Ace of Pentacles. The Judgment card. Crossed by the Judgment card. Okay. Moving over to calmer waters. There's that Six of Swords again. That's Mueller, the King of Swords. That's the Emperor. That's probably Trump. And the Knight of Wands. I feel as though he thinks that Barr, first of all, is protecting the money. Protecting the president. Trying to calm things down, which is something that a lot of the, I guess, pundits were talking about, trying to calm things down in Washington. And then we have the Knight of Wands going on a quest. But the fact that the Judgment card is the card that's crossing says to me that he believes that that I think people might understand this, but I don't think people would understand this. And I think he feels that his friend is going to get judged for it. Okay, let's keep going. How it's seen from the outside, the Queen of Cups. The domestic situation, the King of Pentacles. So we have money, money, money. The Three of Wands is the hopes and fears. And then the outcome as the Death card. So I think he understands why his friend is doing what he's doing, but I don't think that he necessarily thinks it's a good idea. I think, or he thinks that perhaps what's going to happen is going to happen and the truth will come out. All right. One more. Quick. Will the truth of this situation come out? Will the truth of this situation come out, and how will it affect things? And I'm using the fountain deck. Luckily, I have a bunch of decks sitting next to me here. So how will this all come out? See the end, what is it? The end game or the end product of the Mueller report? Oops. Okay. Ten of Wands. I might have these upside down. Let me check. I do. Okay. So I just had them all upside down. So this is a giant burden, a lot of information, a lot of things. There's a lot of things in the Mueller report. Let's see the crossing card. Seven of Coins. All right, let's just leave that. Seven of Coins is often seen as something that's not quite ready to be harvested. The Six of Swords, moving away, moving to calmer waters. The past, bankruptcy, loss, sorrow. This card often feels like your spirit has what's the word? Abandoned you, and yet the reason is because you're not looking to spirit. In the sky, we have the Four of Coins. So I think this is, this is the Sky card, which is sort of what's out there in what's up there in the sky, what we can see by looking up, what we can aspire to by reaching up, is the money connections and the way that the rich sort of hold their money away, how they hoard money. So this is about hoarding money. The Two of Wands in this deck is how people work together to actually, how people work together to actually get something done. So I feel as though this is going to be, and I think this is, this is 6 weeks out, so it feels to me like how the Republicans allowed Trump to sort of do what he did in a way, although they didn't have really, they didn't have control of what he did before he was president, certainly. But the things that they allowed him to sort of get away with to get in the position of president, which he wouldn't have been able to do if they had gone by the rules. So I feel like this is the people who enable him. This is about the enabling of Trump. Okay. How it's seen from the outside. It's going to be seen as a victory and a celebration. Domestic situation. A lot of coins here. There's the influence of money. The influence of money. I always see this as Adelson. Hopes and fears. Yeah. Of never really knowing. Of never having the power. That's a fear. The outcome, the Six of Coins. Again, money. So there's all this sort of money. So of all the things here that comes up with this, the Mueller investigation here is the money. So that's, I think, what's going to be, and this card here in the past, also the bankruptcy card. I mean, Trump has been bankrupt many times and then had to go to Russia to get the money. So I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the money connections and the connections between where these people connected, so that they could sort of move the money around and hoard the money and it's not just stealing from Americans, but this is a worldwide thing. This is a sort of, do I want to call it a conspiracy? Probably. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. The Four of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Six of Cups. Nope. Okay, the Magician. So this card is about mastering your power. It's also about co-creation. And so I think ultimately we are going to get an eyeful on how the rich or the powerful, perhaps, that usually goes hand in hand. It's almost as if Trump is not necessarily successful when it comes to money. What he's good at doing is utilizing a broken system that benefits those who have the most. And he is the sort of the poster child for the idle rich who wield power and don't care about anybody else. I mean, he's the poster child. I'm not saying that rich people are all like that, because they're not. There are a lot of people who have a lot of money who do a lot of good in the world. But at this point in our evolution, we have to see what is what it's really about here. And yeah, so it's all about the money. So even though this whole Mueller thing was supposed to be about collusion and such, sorry about that, I'm back. It looks like it's going to be the money, which of course we know, right? All right, that's what I see. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.